Both anthems have been completed then, and now before the game gets underway, the Four Nations final here at Anfield, the New Zealand players will perform the haka. Time to join your commentary team of John Keir, Jonathan Davies and Dave Woods.
Well, there's a challenge laid down. It's terrific, isn't it? Every time we see it, it's terrific. And we're about to get the real thing underway in just a few moments' time.
Yeah.
This is the way they are lining up. Blake Ferguson, Valentine Holmes, the wings, and Darius Boyd winning his 22nd cap here today. Josh Dugan and Greg Inglis, the centre partnership. The halves, the irrefutably classy halves of Jonathan Thurston and Cooper Cronk. In the front row of Matt Scott, Aaron Woods and Cameron Smith, arguably the best of all time in that position. And in the back row, Boyd Cordner and Matthew Gillett with Trent Merrin binding them together at the back. And on the bench, Michael Morgan and David Klemmer.
Just talk to us again.
And a man who's really impressed in this tournament, Tyson Frizzell, and Shannon Boyd coming into the 17 today in the absence of the injured Sam Thaiday. So New Zealand have had a particular selection headache, not amongst the back three. Kahu, Fositua and Rapana, the fullback and wingers, Solomona Kata and Sean Kenny Dowell in the three quarters. But it's at number 6 where they've had their problem. Tommy Lulai injured, so Tohu Harris, who we're more used to seeing playing in the back row, plays at standoff today. It's a position he's played before. His exceptional utility. Jesse Bromwich, Adam Blair, Isaac Luke in the middle of those. Another potentially really eye-catching player, Jason Tomalolo. Will we see the best of him today? Kevin Proctor and Manu Mahu. And on the bench, Lewis Brown, Martin Tapau, who plays, like his name suggests, with impact, and Greg Eastwood and Joseph Tapine making up that interchange bench. The referee is an Australian, Ben Cummins. Anthony Elliott, Chris Kendall, his touch judges, Bernard Sutton, is waiting by the TV screen should the video referee be required today. This could be very special. Their journey has taken them through plenty of wind and rain in this past month. It's not quite golden skies above Liverpool, but Anfield is ready for the coming together of these two great rugby league nations. It is a true heavyweight fight. The world #1 ranking and a Four Nations trophy. The prize for the winners today. Jonathan Davies, John Keir, how do we see this one going?
It's going to be very tight indeed under Mal Meninga. Australia haven't conceded more than 12 points except for one game last week against England. and New Zealand haven't been quite so fluent with ball in hand, and that may well be affected with the enforced half-back selection of Tohu Harris at stand-off half.
Yeah, it's a shorter pitch as well, so the kicking game will be crucial. Australia have the advantage there with a number of kickers. Sean Johnson has to have an amazing game today. He's got to play out of his skin because he is the main threat and everything comes through him. So Tom Malolo's been quiet but has the potential to be a match winner. Really looking forward to this game. Could be a classic.
It's not a great start to the kicking duties, is it? Blake Ferguson patching that easily enough, and Australia back in possession. But we have seen glimpses of Johnson in this tournament, haven't we, as you say, Jonathan? But 2 years ago in that Four Nations final, he was electrifying when New Zealand downed Australia in Wellington. And the Kiwis as a whole followed his lead. And boy, how they need something similar here today, because Australia undoubtedly starting as favourites.
Yeah, they've been in tremendous form throughout this Four Nations competition. All three of their games they've been very efficient with a great deal of flair also, and it all revolves around the 9-7-6 threesome of Cronk, Thurston and Cameron Smith.
Well, there's Cronk with a kick. It's measured and taken by Fusitu'a on this left-hand side of New Zealand. Well, get used to this. This will be a familiar theme, won't it? New Zealand very often will have to start from very close to their own goal line because of the efficiency of Australia.
Yeah, relentless efficiency, that's what it is. And they forced the error.
Late call by the referee, who on the field said play on. Jordan Rapana thought he'd worked an opening, but belatedly and presumably via a shot from his touch judge, he's given the knock on. Australia head and feet.
But that's what they do, as I said, great yardage for the forwards. This is the hit. Is there a knock on or does it go backwards?
I think the referee's got that right. He's lost the ball in the tackle there, lost control of the ball. And although the New Zealand side tried to play on, that's the correct decision from the officials, and it's a great attacking set so early in the game for the guys in green and gold.
So here's Cooper Cronk with a feed eventually. Cameron Smith, these two. Certainly in Cameron Smith's case, we might be seeing for the last time in England. That's a great cut-out ball, and Blake Ferguson, with less than 3 minutes played, scores in the corner. Australia starting in the manner in which they hope to play the entire 80 minutes, on the front foot and in the lead.
Well, that's a marvellous try, isn't it? And here's the error there, forced by the Australian aggressive defence there. Trent Mennen and Matthew Scott in forcing the error. Then it's they split 3-3 to the Australian side, and New Zealand went 4-2 defensively, and that's what created the extra man for Ferguson to cross.
What's happened here? Number 6, Tohu Harris. The outside defender is worried about his pace, so the centre goes in. That's the problem. So the centre goes in, and there's a beautiful pass by Boyd.
So I've got Woods a step short on that right side.
Well, he's having a great year, isn't he, Blake Ferguson, the Sydney Rooster winger. His international debut against New Zealand back in May in the Anzac Test. He's winning his 6th cap tonight, or today, and that's already his 5th try.
Yeah, that will be one of the easier finishes that he's had as well, won't it? Created by that fantastic pass there from Darius Bryant. Absolutely on the money.
It's typical Australia, they see that there might be a weakness in Harris, the half-back. They pick him out where he's defending, and they challenge him straight away.
So a toughie to start with for Jonathan Thurston. Just in from this right touchline. A readjustment of all the body armour. Thurston's kicking has been pretty good throughout this tournament as well, hasn't it? He's not going to be rushed, and he has just got it over there. We remember him hitting the frame of the goal in the Four Nations final, the grand final a couple of years ago, and he's had 1 or 2 close measures since, but that was very close too.
That's a beautiful pass, and you can see, it's a problem for them there. It's just totally exploited by the Australians. Brilliant pass by Boyd.
So already this is a big test of mentality for New Zealand here, isn't it? That draw against Scotland just over a week ago, rather deflated them. They're here almost by default because of England's defeat to Australia. And they knew they were coming into it as rank underdogs, and to concede so early, they're gonna have to dig deep now.
They will dig deep, and it's a test of their mental toughness. They've got to hang in there, forget about the scoreboard, just work the process of rugby league and grind themselves back into this game.
Up now.
That's Woods on the halfway line. Cameron Smith, the dummy half. Scott to his right, who's drawn on.
Make it here.
40 away on the 6th tackle. What price a kick here that puts New Zealand under pressure. Cronk got it away. Blair was right in his ribs, and that's a super take by Fusita. And there are a bit of afters here between Cooper Cronk of Melbourne and Adam Blair, who was his teammate up to a couple of years ago at the Melbourne club.
Yeah, I don't think he was too happy there with Blair. He felt he followed through with the challenge, but the officials deemed that there's no problem with that, already committed. And obviously, as New Zealand received the ball, they've now got an interference at the ruck.
But they need to put pressure on him. You know, they just can't give him an armchair right. It's a brilliant take. Up he goes, up high. Uses the Australian players back to get high. Brilliant take.
Even so, Jonathan, difficult to take because there's so much traffic, so much pressure from the Australian side.
Here's Blair across the line, and Johnson bringing on the attacking threat of Proctor, whose offload is good, and Tomalolo eating up the yards down the middle again here. New Zealand with a decent response have got a penalty, so that will help their cause as well. Isaac Luke wants to take it quickly.
And I think that's what New Zealand got to continue to do. They've got to continue to offload to play second phase rugby league, because when this Australian defensive line is sorted, it's so difficult to break down, and that may well be the key to a good New Zealand performance, offloading the ball and plenty of support around the ball in collision.
So 6 tackles deep inside their opponent's half here for New Zealand. Johnson just issuing the commands ahead of the kick. And you probably sense that most of the English, Scottish Rugby League supporters in here would be on the side of New Zealand here. Back it comes towards Blair and helps it on, and Bromwich is striding over the bodies of the Australian defenders, but they just about managed to pull him down. Great position for New Zealand. Blair again, now Johnson. Looking for a cut-out pass, was he? Decides it's not on, runs at Thurston, dodges away, great work by him. Kenny Dowell on that right-hand side. Still tackles in the bag. Johnson.
Here's the boy.
And a big hit forward again by Tomalolo. They love that. They love the physical contact. And up from dummy half quickly goes Luke. 5 gone, and here's the last. It's a poor pass. Johnson struggles to recover. Oh, that's brilliant by Blair. Adam Blair's handling there, terrific. And the kick at the end is just overcooked. But Adam Blair, what was that all about?
The problem that the New Zealand's got at the moment, the passes are shoulder passes, so they have to check in the movement and takes all the momentum out of the pace. There's the second pass. The first pass previously to Johnson was the same. Magic play here. But they need to get the execution better. They're going to trouble this Australian defence.
If he'd had his haircut, you'd have thought it was Sean Johnson. Adam Blair. That was terrific. But Australia ride the storm.
I think he's a bit bigger than Sean Johnson, to tell you the truth.
They've knocked on. Australia have knocked on. And I tell you, for all the strutting start that they made here, Australia, they are rocking a little at the moment.
Yeah, they are, but they'll go back to plan one. That's their defensive work, but that's some good defence. They're trying to play the ball quickly. Looked as if he lost it in the collision, and consequently not happy with himself.
Not happy.
Thanks, Adam. Thanks, man.
Yeah, Boyd Cordner there with the error. And it's a fair bit of pressure, this, isn't it? From about minute 4 of the game. The New Zealanders really have ramped it up, and they're asking some questions of this Australian defence.
This is Johnston back on the inside for
Mahu. Hold here.
With 5 tackles to go from here for New Zealand. So again, a great position. Bromwich once more thundering forward.
2 now, Aaron straight. Wait here, wait for 2.
Isaac Luke wants it played quicker. switches it left to Johnson. Inside again to the man of the moment, Adam Blair. He's having a terrific start to this game, hasn't he? Luke again. Johnson skipping it across. Harris to his right, but he's gone short for Proctor, who's almost burst through. 2 tackles. New Zealand scratching towards that line. Johnson puts a kick in. He kicked it for himself. There was no chase, but Darius Boyd still deems it necessary to put behind for a dropper.
It is. It's the, you know, Sean Johnson. Unfortunately for him, there's no one else there to do the kicking game, to orchestrate the attack. He has to be on top of his game, and so far he has been brilliant.
Yeah, good kick that, wasn't it? But I think Darius Boyd's reaction there, he just palmed the ball over the in-goal area. They're absolutely so confident in their rock-solid defence. If they put them under pressure, they'll palm the ball dead and they'll just say, right, we'll have this next set of Sid as well, see if he can break us down. And that's the challenge to the Kiwis.
14-8 for Australia when these two met in the group stages of this Ladbrokes Four Nations. He's here again, Tomolola, winding up and off he goes. But the first half of that game, Australia very dominant. They couldn't get over the line too often, could they? And New Zealand very nearly snatched it at the end. It's Blair with a footwork. Smith puts out an arm.
They're making a couple of line breaks now with quick feet at the defensive line, the forwards.
Isaac Luke looks left and Bromwich twists and turns, and it's just as well for the Kangaroos that there were so many in green and gold.
He's given a ball steal there, I believe.
Strip.
So a penalty.
Yeah, but that's better obviously from an Australian point of view than a try. Despite Jesse Bromwich's best efforts there, but, plenty of numbers defensively in by Australia, and they're not going to allow him to ground the ball, so choose instead to reef the ball, give the penalty away.
It's a great spell for the Kiwis. It started horribly, having conceded in the 3rd minute, but their response has been exemplary. Can they turn that into points here?
Okay, stand there,
Bromwich first man in.
Back foot here, Cooper. Hold.
Isaac Luke goes to that right-hand side, and Johnson again, and into the line comes Kahu. Kenny Dowell is butterfingered. The ball is dropped.
That's
Australia survive.
Yeah, that'd be a huge disappointment. You know, they've had, you know, repeat sets now, and this is just a calamity for them. First tackle, 10-metre area. They had to build the pressure and get something from the pressure that they put on the Australians.
John Wilkin on the sidelines. What are you saying, John?
Yeah, I think we've seen 2 ways which New Zealand can approach attacking this Australian side. One, unfruitful there, coming up with an error, where you're trying to break Australia down through structure, and the offloads through Blair and through Bromwich and through Tomolola, which in the game plan before I thought would work, and really has broken up the Australian line, and more of that from New Zealand, less of the structured stuff.
So Australia are charged with trying to cart this ball away from their own goal line. Cameron Smith at the feet of Ferguson. It's the outside backs who are going to get through some work here to try and lift the growing pressure on their forwards, but Aaron Woods, the big man down the middle, will take it in. Smith again stands and waits. Here comes Cronk. They're 4 tackles and almost on the halfway line. Smith, it's Cronk, and trying to make up the numbers. Dugan put down.
Good use of the short set again. They created an overlap there.
Here it comes, Cronk with the kick. High enough to offer a challenge. Kata underneath it, caught by Ferguson, but caught safely by Kata.
That was a great catch, wasn't it? But you'd be happy with that, wouldn't you, from Australia's point of view? You've just been under pressure, you complete that set, turn the ball over 10 metres away from the New Zealand line, and now once again you trust this time the aggressive defence against New Zealand, bring it out from their own half.
Rapana just stepped off the mark, so the referee ordering to go back and play that ball again. And some great footwork here from Kenny Dowell down the middle, who might feel he's got a point to prove against Australia. That match against Perth was a disastrous one for him, but look at this. Suddenly the ball back inside for Kenny Dowell again. They're creating the numbers. Johnson now makes some space, puts it out. Tohu Harris can't pick it up. Instead it's Valentine Holmes, and Holmes puts the foot down the other way. They're chasing here. Look how many back in black. But Holmes held up. New Zealand blow one chance, Australia work another.
What a great passage of play there. more than a half chance for New Zealand, diffused by Greg Inglis, and now Australia countering immediately.
There's a brick wall from Qatar just as well.
Desperate tackle there, numbers on the right-hand side.
Dugan, Cameron Smith. And down it goes Trent Merritt. Thurston, Cordner. Still got a couple of plays to go here. Australia in very decent position. Merrin again, flicks it away. Safe hands from Smith, and it's eventually into Darius Boyd. And Boyd's fat pass finds Josh Dugan. Australia in for a second. You've got to take your hats off to them. They have soaked up so much pressure, and yet they come up with a second try.
That was an opportunity blown for New Zealand. Unfortunately for Johnson, he had a forward on the outside and couldn't get in support of him. But Darius Boyd's inclusion so far has been absolutely immense. He threw the pass for the first try, and then the second try, he hit the line. This is it. That's the problem. You've got Proctor on the outside. You can't get up with Johnson. Good defence. This is the counter-attack. And then just watch Darius Boyd's inclusion, number one. There's the offload. He waits. Cronk. Again, it's Harris, the number 6, the forward makeshift standoff, who's caught short on the defensive side. He's too slow there. He's got on the outside of him. Just watch. There we are. He's got to step in once again. The centre's got to step in, and there's an easy try for the Aussies.
Well, I'm with you with that, Jonathan, but I'm also going to admire the handling skills of Australia. Right from the offload to all the passes after that, every single pass was straight to hand. There was no checking of stride or anything at all. It was executed perfectly.
Clinical. But I love the way they've exploited Harris, the standoff, who's a forward, a makeshift 6. They've run at him. The centre has come inside because they think he's too slow. And they've scored 2 tries. Brilliant Australian attack.
And how deflating is that to the Kiwi psyche, given that they had their opportunities, they have looked good, and yet they find themselves 2 scores behind.
At international level in any sport, I think if you have opportunities, you have to take them, because you're punished if you don't.
So here's Thurston again. Successful for the touchline just with his first attempt. Wide, 15 metres in, just with his second attempt. But Australia lead by 10 points to 0.
It's tremendous work. It's just look at the pass here. Everyone is straight on the button. The skill level of that try was phenomenal. And it's gone from defence into attack. The count, even when they got the error and they made the run by Valentine Holmes, it showed composure just to take the tackle, bring the ball back into play. They just trust each other and trust the systems that they're playing under.
Kevin now. Hold it, Sean.
And we're saying goodbye, aren't we, to several of these Australian players in terms of performing on English soil, the likes of Jonathan Thurston, Cameron Smith, probably. Nothing definitive, but probably. Greg Inglis maybe as well. But we're saying hello to some superstars of the future. Valentine Holmes, Josh Dugan winning only his 6th cap here today. That's a good offload. Smith to Cronk. Cronk has seen a space in which to run, but it closes quickly. And Smith up there again. Thurston to his right-hand side, tries to dodge underneath the highish arm from Bromwich.
Hold it, Isaac. Wait it, Sean. Wait. Go.
Last tackle to come. Cronk gets the ball away despite the attention of Isaac Luke, and the leap has not provided safety for New Zealand. It's merely another set of 6, and Valentine Holmes held up only 8 yards away, and then for too long. So a penalty, Australia.
Yeah, but disappointed there, reeling the kick in there, and interesting that Australia going for the 2 points. But here's the kick. It gains the challenge there, but in all honesty, Rapana's got to reel that in. At this level, you've got to claim those kicks, and because it hasn't, the penalties come, and it will go to a full 2 scores difference.
But you have to admire, the kicking game. As we've said, every kick is on the button. Every kick is there, you know, so you have to compete for it. And when there is traffic there, as John mentioned earlier, there's the chance of a dropped kick, and that's what they do. They work the percentages all the time.
So Thurston puts that one over, his second out of 3, and Australia leading by 12 points to 0.
Well, Dave, Jonathan and I were watching the Australian warm-up, and the two kickers, Thurston and Cronk, were practicing, and they must have done 20 kicks to the corner, and every single one of them were in the correct area. And it's like anything else, perfect practice makes perfect, and that's what they're demonstrating once more.
Isaac look with the restart, and Australia come again here in the shape, in the first instance, of Matt Scott. And it is relentless from those in green and gold. And let's get this out of the way, Jonathan Davis. You have played here, haven't you, at this Anfield pitch?
Yeah, scored a hat-trick here, Dave. Hat-trick of conversion. So, yeah, unbeaten on this pitch. beat Wigan in the Charity Shield, so it didn't happen very often in those days, but it's a fantastic place to play. You know, when you play in the great arenas, Old Trafford and Wembley and Anfield, it's just a pleasure, and they're great memories to have. Magnificent stadiums.
And it is a fantastically populated stadium as well here, given that it's a neutral final, if you like. No home nation involvement, but still plenty of people packed in as Thurston with the chip. Rapana, safer catch this time, an easier catch this time, but Boyd is trying to get up there and drag him down. And New Zealand start in familiar territory, 5 from their own line.
Yeah, if you're going to practice playing Australia, I think you need to practice a lot of sets starting from within your own 5 metres, because you'll certainly get plenty of opportunities to execute them during the game.
Kenny Dowell. Oh, that was clumsy from Isaac Luke. He tried to cover his mistake, but...
And again, forcing, the error, and look where they are again.
Well, it's the field position, isn't it? I mean, possession's about 50-50, but the field position's certainly been Australia's favour, and it's been helped by errors like that from Isaac Luke, just trying to generate a bit of energy, a bit of speed into their carries. And unfortunately, it's an error.
When you look at players like Andrew Johns and Lockyer and Wally Lewis and Brett Kenny, look at the errors made. Maybe as individuals, maybe they were better players than Cronk and Thurston and Cameron Smith. But as a unit, I don't think I've ever seen better, in the game of rugby.
Well, Queensland's success has been based upon those 3,
yeah.
And Australia's success has been as well.
And here's Darius Boyd. And Australia pushing hard at this New Zealand line again. Cronk goes left to Scott. Another of that North Queensland connection. Now it's with Smith, and a short pass and an easy route over for Trent Merrin. New Zealand defenders will look at themselves on the back of that. Merrin crashes over. A 3rd Australia try. Boy, do they want this Four Nations crown.
They want the Four Nations crown. They want the #1 slot down there of the within the Rugby League World Rankings, and they're going to get it on the evidence of the first 25 minutes or so. Trent Merrin, often one of the unsung heroes of this Australian pack. There's a lot of the grunt, the unsung hero stuff, but they've isolated him one-on-one. The New Zealand defenders looking for the backman play, and it's a beautifully weighted pass from Cameron Smith to Merrin, and just allows him to get one-on-one with the defender and crash over for a good 4 points. A very, very well worked 4 points indeed.
Well, they've enjoyed that. He's given up a thing or two. There's Cameron Smith.
If you just watch Cameron Smith, right, when he picks that ball up, right, and he just feints to go the other way and then go back the other way, he just keeps the defenders honest at the tackle. It's nearly, you can't notice it, but just watch him as he feints to go right, then he goes the other way and just holds the defence.
Well, we're going to have a look at that in just a moment. We'll watch the conversion first of all from Jonathan Thurston. It's a little delayed here because I think the Kiwis were trying to hide the ball. That's one way of stopping Australia scoring.
Yeah.
But they had to give it back eventually.
But you can't say there's an indicator for the Australians to where's the ball going to go, because they've got so many accomplished ball players, so many creators of attacking opportunities.
So already a 4th attempt at goal.
There.
And again, he's in no rush, is he? And eventually he kicks it, and it's over. So it is 18 points to 0. Australia now lead. And the role that Cameron Smith played in all of that, Jonathan.
Yeah, just watch it up. Gets the ball. Well, you just can't really see it from that angle, but
even then, Jonathan, he takes the ball up and he interests the defender, just interests him enough to turn him in towards him before just giving the softest of pass to Trent Merrin for him to crash over. They really are the skills that execute it to perfection.
23 minutes played. Australia leading by 18 points to 0. Up here, we're sitting back and admiring what Australia are doing. What about down on the sidelines, John Wilkin?
Yeah. Hold! Release, Sean, make it! Hardy for 3, play the ball.
Oh, he's not there just at the moment. We'll speak to him very shortly.
Kevin now! Hardy for 4.
Here's Smith at dummy half. Aaron Woods powering Paul forward again, and again the offload, and Cameron Smith is finding a bit of room in which to run. He's put down desperately, but Australia already inside their opponent's half. Cronk on the 6 puts it high.
Yeah, happy.
Fusitu'a is underneath it. He heard the hooves galloping towards him, but he's caught it safely.
But even though
start from here.
he's reeled the ball in, that's one tackle gone, and
Katzis
again
drops it.
the error's come, this time not forced. That's a poor error away from the collision. It really is, and Australia in this mode, they're likely to exploit that.
Thurston goes left, and Inglis is put down on that occasion at least. But Australia offering more again. Here's Cordner, Boyd Cordner.
Okay, Jesse off the ball. Bring it back, Alan. Hold here. Go 2.
Cameron Smith out of dummy half, and Aaron Woods just poaching forward again here, and Australia poised. New Zealand defending on their own line. Smith out, Cronk misses out a couple. It's taken on by Dugan. New Zealand desperately getting to their man, but Boyd stands and waits. Cooper Cronk again. Here's Cameron Smith. Jonathan Thurston wanted to go over the top, but Johnson gets right in his face. So last play in this set.
maybe repeat set, yeah.
Cronk. It's a high one, it's a tester, Kahu underneath it, but that's where they start again, so close to their own line. I think we can hear from John Wilkin now. John?
Yeah, I think one of the most impressive things about this Australian side is something we talk about. It's the rugby league brains that they've got within the team. Cameron Smith, Thurston and Cronk are not physically great specimens, and in rugby league and rugby union we've been obsessing about producing athletes. These guys are not athletic, they're good athletes, but they're fantastic rugby brains, understand the game, and that's been the difference between these two sides.
Well, they've forced the error here.
Yeah, I believe that will be a knock-on from New Zealand. I think they tried to offload, but it went forward. But
and then Australia.
I agree that, you know, what John has said is a massive factor. I think that you know, if you look at both codes and those at the top of each respective code, it's the rugby knowledge that is the difference. And you know, that's where England Rugby League are struggling, and that's where England Rugby Union, you know, with Ford and Farrell, are doing particularly well. So I think it's game management and game understanding which is crucial. I mean, future development of players, you know, they shouldn't have to be coached at this level. Game management.
the guys out there are managing it very, very well, and you've seen 11 sets out of 12 completed from Australia, so There's an efficiency about them, but there's also a flair within that efficiency, isn't there?
And the thing about Cameron Smith as well is his aerobic capacity, his aerobic fitness. I mean, it's a rare hooker who does a full 80 minutes these days, isn't it? But he does it week after week after week. There's his 74 tackles in the grand final.
He enjoys it, doesn't he? You could see he enjoys the game. He enjoys the control and the influence he has on outcomes of games.
Tyson Frizzell is on the field, so expect some impact from him. Smith again at dummy half, Australia again poised, looking to deliver another of those punches, taken on by Shannon Boyd, the big fella, real big fella, chases wild pigs back home. Chasing Kiwis here today. 6th tattle coming up now. Thurston puts it in the in-goal area. Kenny Dowell grounds it, conceives the dropout.
Again.
Marvellous, isn't it? It's just a masterclass of rugby league. It's a masterclass of how to build pressure and your end of sets. They're just executed to perfection there. That ball's rolled in with perfect weighting, and there's nothing at all that Sean Kenny Dowell can do except ground the ball. But unfortunately for the New Zealanders, by grounding the ball, it's another repeat set from Australia in great field position.
So he's looking for touch here, Isaac. Look, a little bit of lift of pressure, but he's not found it. Instead, he's given Australia some fairly cheap yards here. So they start and they get it's another penalty given away. Martin Tapau has just been announced as coming on, or having come on. Looking down below, Greg Eastwood is about to come on for New Zealand as well. It's Clemmer, who's taken Australia to within 10 metres again. A real platform from which to work their magic. Now it's Frizzell. The Kiwis hanging on. Frizzell is slow to his feet.
Yeah, high shot that one, I think.
Again, it's a late call from the referee, isn't it?
It was.
I don't think he's holding him down there. Just thought he thought that Frizzell was injured. 2 points. Yeah, that's a brilliant decision. Look, that's 3 scores, 18 points. There's 3 converted tries, 20 points. They've got to score another, another try. So just take the 2 points.
Yeah, and it was high. No doubt about that. Contact with the right arm with the head. So they have to give that, and as Jonathan rightly points out, this will make it a 4-score game. And as we said earlier on, under Mal Meninga, the most they've conceded was 18 points. That was last week against England, when they also scored 36, by the way.
So here's Thurston looking to add another 2. And Thurston does add another 2. And Australia now lead. We're nearly half an hour play, 20 points to 0. And Mal Meninga's going to be very content with what he's seen so far.
Well, if you're going to grade this, I'm certain he'll give it sort of 8.5 out of 10 up to now. There was that period when New Zealand broke them up a little with their offloads. But apart from that, the green and golds have been in total control. And it's been a joy to watch. It's been a masterclass. I would say that first 30 minutes, it's been a masterclass of how to play rugby league.
Well, before this game began, New Zealand held the mantle as world #1. It was a title based on the history of the last 2 or 3 years. But Australia will be the new #1s when, if they win today. But they are now the dominant nation without any argument. They are the dominant nation again, aren't they? And New Zealand have got some way to climb back up to get back level with them, and England likewise. Smith goes left, Thurston further left, in his second row, Boyd Courtney.
Make it here. Hold it for 4. Wait now, wait. Go, good.
Smith inside for Tyson Frizzell, who John Keir had as a Welsh international player.
Yeah, it's interesting this playing in the middle channel as well, rather than an edge player.
Thurston's kick. Rapana takes, Australia rush, and New Zealand start again 5 metres away from their own line with a big job to do here.
Together!
And they're not going to ease up, the Australians. They just keep playing the patterns. Good yardage, good kicking game.
Stand there,
I don't think it's in their nature to ease up, Jonathan.
They won't loosen up or nothing. They'll just do the same old things.
Hold it for 4.
grind the result out. Australia, the Kiwis have got to try and get back into this game somehow. And at the moment it's very difficult to see, because look at the different yardage. They're now kicking from within their own half, whereas the Australian kickers are kicking maybe on the opposition 40-metre area or even 20-metre area.
Well, it's the first play of the ball that's the indicator, isn't it? We've said on numerous occasions that New Zealand's first play of the ball is within 5 metres of their goal line. Australia's inevitably tends to be between 20 and 40 metres away from their goal line.
Here's Boyd. It's a 9th try or Four Nations that we've had. Australia have been in the final of all of them, and it looks like they're going to win their 6th here. This is a good run from Dugan, and Cronk carries it on. Thurston's there to take the ball. Johnson stops him in his tracks. Little bit of help from Eastwood, but Australia covering ground rapidly, and here they come again. Cronk now dummies the inside ball. New Zealand are on the ropes. Last tackle, Smith again. Comes right, Thurston. Grubber, superbly flighted, and Josh Dugan might have had the bigger appetite to get there first and get fingertips on that ball. We say might, because the referee, Ben Cummings, is going to the video ref. So let's hear for the first time today from Bernard Sutton.
Please, mate, from a high shot. You can pause it on the boot. Tackle 6, try. Okay, kick chase on the right-hand side is onside. Just stay on this, there's no interference. Now can we go something slow and continuous from ground level, please? Nice and slow here, nice and slow. You see Josh Dugan's hands coming through. Okay, have a decision, the ball's been grounded, that'll be a try, going to the board.
Josh Dugan celebrates. He doesn't know the decision yet. Now he does. Australia confirmed as 24 points to nil leaders of this game.
And again, it's the end of the set, isn't it? They asked enough questions during the set. And even when Cooper Cronk is tackled, Thurston comes from the left side, which is where he normally plays, over to the right and puts that kick in. They just work so well together. Marvellous break here. This is down the short side. And then there's composed, there's Dugan to start with. Offloads to Cronk on the inside, pops it up for Thurston. Thurston's tackled, but then later in the tackle, look, he's come from the left-hand side to the right side as Thurston. Lovely little deft kick, and Dugan's the one with, as you've rightly called it, Dave, the great appetite. He wanted to ground that ball more than the New Zealand team wanted to shepherd it to safety.
But just watch it, there's even a dummy runner there that comes in to hold the defence, and then it's a subtle little kick and the perfect kick. So, it's just, quality finishing, quality teamwork.
So Thurston to add the 2, or at least he hopes that's in the script. The cop, the end into which he kicks here, and he's curled it. He's hit the post. He's hit the post.
It's Australia 24, New Zealand
24-0.
Just watch there, he is dummy runner, holds the inside defence, and then there's nothing really on except it's the perfect option. If they don't score a try, they have another repeat set, John.
But the kick, Jonathan, I mean, he was under intense pressure, and he still executed so well. It was going to land in that in goal.
So New Zealand desperately hoping they can keep these green and golds penned deep inside their own half. But the history of the last 34 minutes tells us that's going to be difficult. Smith, left again, taken on by Shannon Boyd. Wants to get the arms free, can't do so, goes down with a ball in hand. Smith's up there, the Major General in the middle again. A step from Michael Morgan, who offers impact in a different respect. He's got fleet of foot, sharp step. Thurston left, juggled, kept hold of by Frizzell. So there's the 5th. Australia looking for a good kick on the 6th. Cronk, high and spinning. Where's this coming down? I think he might have been aiming for the post there. It was caught in goal anyway. tap restart. Quick tap restart allowed or not allowed? Because the Kiwi players weren't all back behind the ball.
Well, that's the laws of the game. You can't restart. The interpretation is you cannot restart until all your players are back on side, and they weren't. So no matter how disgruntled the crowd are, the referee's right.
Move there, Shannon. Locking in marker. Hold
Well,
it.
David Kidwell is twitching in his seat, isn't he? It's not been a glorious Four Nations from his side's point of view.
Mate, release. Right here, David.
The one-point victory against England, remaining amongst the only highlight so far.
Shannon now.
The draw against Scotland, a particular low. Here's Katab,
Josh up. Half a 4. Go.
and now Isaac Luke. Inside of him is Tohu Harris, looking to run free here, try and create something for himself.
Last tackle, David.
And that's tackle 5. So on the 6th, Isaac Luke gets in there. Sean Johnson, where's the magic? There's the pass. But Kenny Dowell is being herded towards the touchline. And then the kick in desperation from Rapana. Clearly dead by a distance.
Right there, Shannon.
And that's the difference again. You know, Sean Johnson is the only kicker, so they close him down straight away. Whereas the Australians have got options.
Yeah, it was a rushed end, wasn't it? That was a bit of a panic end rather than a structured, composed end, which is what we're seeing from Australia. I mean, I agree with you, Dave. I think New Zealand can be disappointed, etc., etc. But I don't think we should take anything away from this Australian, this masterclass of rugby league.
Cautious look at the history books, by the way, tells you that Australia's biggest win against New Zealand was 58 points to 0 back in 2007. Might just be occupying our attention as the game goes on, and look at that, what a response. Inglis and Morgan, I think it was, in there quickly. Kahu thought he was in safety, suddenly he's back in peril again.
Well, they'll just show you something different then. This time we'll get a repeat set by a distance kick from Cameron Smith out of dummy half, then a great chase and getting manhandled by Greg Inglis. Just picked him up, took him over the in-goal area and dumped him down, said, right, we'll have the ball for another set of 6.
Jordan, when you're ready.
They just do everything, you know, so well.
It's Boyd on the catch, Clemmer with the big return. New Zealand spirits wilting, no doubt, because it is relentless. There's more to come. There's another 40 minutes of this extraordinarily good Australian performance. Thurston. And it's run on hard, and it is not quite from Inglis. Still struggling. Well, the referee is going to have a look here.
Tackle 3.
He thinks no try on the field, but it's up to the video referee. So let's hear again from Bernard Sutton.
Tackle 3, no try is the live decision. So he's got the ball in his left hand. There's hands underneath the ball as he comes to the goal line. He rolls over the goal line at this point. The ball is still up, still up, still up. Keep it moving, please. Keep it moving. The ball's still up. It's now going away from the ground. Okay, keep this moving. Doesn't get any lower. Is there one more angle from behind? I can't see anything near the ground there, Ben. At this point, it's still no try. Just keep this one playing through, please, Ken. The ball's still up. We know from the front on angle it was up at that point. Still up at that point. Still up at that point. And doesn't get any lower. The tackle's now complete. That'll be no try, Ben, going to the board. Tackle 3, Greg Inglis to play the ball.
Just can you control that for us, Anthony? Just wait there. Trying to hold it until I blow the whistle.
So no try. Held up, but they just go back 10 metres and start again here with 3 more tackles to come.
Yeah, but well done, Jordan Cahill and Isaac Luke there. There was an element of desperation there, wasn't there, to prevent that? And that takes some preventing when it's Greg Inglis carrying the football.
Great line by Greg Inglis there. He's been quiet so far in this game.
Cameron Smith delivers left, Thurston. Still running into a bit of a cul-de-sac with a brick wall at the end of it.
Stand, last tackle.
Takes the tackle from Tapau. Cronk. Measured flight kick again in mid-air. It was caught by Ferguson, kept alive, still the 6th tackle. So Cronk this time will kick to the other side. It's Kenny Dowell is back there, not only to take it, but to find a bit of space in which to run. And he just had Inglis dragging down and lowering his expectations.
And the crowd got a little excited there. They could see a bit of fresh air for the New Zealanders there, but quickly closed down. And interesting fact about that kick as well, normally a right-footed kicker, Cronk. He kicked it with his left foot that time, just to something different.
3 now, David. Hold here, hold. Go, 3.
Lewis Brown on the field in that dummy half's position at the moment.
Go.
Tapau.
Hold! Release!
5 gone, here comes the 6th. Brown, Johnson, looking to create some numbers. Kahu chimes into the line. Kenny Dowell with a kick to the corner. Darius Boyd should have it covered. He does. Can he get out of there? You bet he can get out of there. 3 New Zealanders there. They should have been starting with a dropout underneath the sticks, but Darius Boyd found a way.
Marvellous, wasn't it? That's absolutely first-class back 3 play. The full-back there receives it, 3 chases there. But great footwork, evasive skill allows him to get back in the field of play and prevents the repeat sets that Australia tended to have time after time.
Yeah, Lewis Brown, you know, was there to make the tackle. He just missed the tackle. It was a lovely kick.
Cameron Smith loving every moment of this. It won't be lost on him that this is in all likelihood his last game on English soil in an Aussie jumper. Cooper Cronk.
Play on.
It's Ferguson trying something a little different.
Knock on, touch it.
Knock on given.
Train Dover. Mark it up there.
Well, I think that's the first time in nearly 40 minutes they've gone away from the script there. And that's the first scruffy, shall we say, Australian end to a set.
Yeah, they saw the opportunity. They had numbers on the right-hand side, so Cronk and Thurston had a look at it.
Well, it's not quite finished the half because New Zealand have a penalty here. Mal Meninga getting out of his seat. A lot of people around the stadium getting out of their seats, but still a little bit of action to go.
Well, they'll get 1 play, won't they, from the tap restart. Let's see what they do. Do they put the ball up to try and force an header? Do they offload? Or do they just run the half down?
Does redemption begin here? Or is it only the inevitable conclusion that we can expect? Kenny Dowell brings it back to the middle. Johnson. A bounce into the hands of Tapine. And it was Eastwood who tried to kick. It's played out. It's another set of 6, but that's rather irrelevant because as soon as the first tackle is completed, that will be the end of the first half. Australia leading here by 24 points to 0. As a final, no contest, but as a demonstration of high-class rugby league, Australia have no comparison. That has been a super show from the men in green and gold in that first half. And let's hear from Tanya Arnold down on the touchline.
Jesse, how tough a half that for you guys?
Yeah, obviously very disappointing. We come here with a game plan and I think we've just been putting pressure on ourselves, so hopefully we can go on there at half-time and come out a better team.
How frustrating that you had your chances there, you just needed to be a bit more clinical.
Yeah, we had our chances, we just couldn't execute, you know, and that's something we talked about, so it's very disappointing, but like I said, hopefully we can come out a better team.
Thanks for your time, Jesse. Cheers. Let's bring in Greg Inglis. Greg, you must be thrilled with how clinical you guys have been.
Yeah, obviously, you know, we know they're great quality side. We've struck power across the park, so, you know, we've got another 40 to go yet.
Are you expecting the message to be more of the same from Mal Meninga?
Yeah, exactly the same. You know, we just come out, be ready for anything and just play our game. If we improve on that there, well then, you know, I think we'll, as a team, we'll be satisfied with that.
Thanks for your time, Greg.
Well, an utterly dominant first half performance by Australia. More possession, more territory. New Zealand having to make 24 more tackles as well. And look at the total metres at the bottom. Over double made by Australia compared to New Zealand, and your countrymen have been utterly dominant, Kurt Gidley.
Yeah, they have, but there was a period there early on when New Zealand, they got up some offloads. I thought there was a real turning point when New Zealand almost scored. Australia went 80 metres and scored at the end of that set, and I thought that was a turning point in the half. From there, Australia just built pressure, and the scoreline's blown out.
How far behind have New Zealand looked to you?
Oh, that's 40 minutes of hurt. They're very painful to watch that. Australia came with just ruthless efficiency, and they're absolutely brilliant in the way that they've prepared and operated in those first opening 40 minutes. That spine of the team we've been talking about with Cameron Smith and Thurston and Cooper Cronk and Darius Boyd was the icing on the cake out the back. It's just class beyond class. So take my hat off to them. They really have turned up and just killing it.
Yeah, it doesn't do a lot for the neutral. It doesn't do a lot as a final, really, if you're wanting a good game, but you're getting a good performance.
Only if you want an exhibition of rugby league at the highest level from Australia. I suppose the best thing we can say about the New Zealand performance is Isaac Luke's kicking off pretty well. They just have to for 6 or 7 times that first half. I just say they compounded themselves. The perfect time that Kurt was talking about when they were in the game, they bombed the try at one end and Australia came down the other end and executed it. Since then they've made errors, they've tried to play their way back into the game in the wrong way.
I was just going to say, I think I'd like to see the stat how many times New Zealand have started inside 5 metres. You know, I think every time Australia have got a yardage set, they get past halfway, an attacking kick, which is always on the money, and New Zealand are starting 5 metres out from their own line.
And you could have said exactly the same thing last week when England played Australia as well. They are so good and so consistent and making the opposition start in their own 5 metres.
It's not only what they're doing when they're attacking with their attacking kicks and where the ball's ending up. Defensively, in that following set, you're kicking in yardage, but you're finding a very busy backfield. You're not finding any space. They're starting the set on the halfway.
Let's take a look at the first try. They got off to a great start. Blake Ferguson with this try. He's going to talk us through it.
Well, this is pure homework. This is looking at Tohu Harris, who's been under the spotlight. As we've talked about, he's a back row and he's playing in the halves. Darius Boyd's seen that and just set off. He's used his pure speed there, been able to draw in Solomon Ikata, and he's done the skip pass out to Ferguson to score in the corner. That's pure game plan because you know you haven't got the right staff playing in front of you.
And the guys in commentary, Jonathan Davis in particular, have highlighted throughout the course of that first half Darius Boyd's influence on his timing when he comes into the line.
I think he runs that sweep play probably better than anyone in the game, to be honest, and he knows what numbers and how to create and which person to get to, and we got to the centre there and the pass was made easy, but he would have been licking his lips with that amount of space with 2 defenders there.
And as Kurt said, the game could well have switched on this play with Sean Johnson involved when New Zealand at that stage had had a good 5, 6, 7 minutes, Brian.
They'd had the ball for 8 minutes to storm up the middle of the field, and every day of the week this is a try. Great offload out the back door. It comes to Johnson and he's got, I think it's Proctor on his outside, and maybe he should have given him the first time, but the desperate thing here is they've got 4 or 5 Kiwi defenders that get back and actually make the play, but the Kiwis just execute in the next play and get over the line.
As a player, this is like heartbreaking when you know you're 1 pass away from a try, and then at the end of this set you're behind the sticks with a try scored against you.
And do you think that completely took the wind out of their sails?
It does. It takes the wind out of your sails, but also takes a lot of energy out of your tank. I mean, they were just about to score, then they've got half a dozen forwards who have had to chase back and cover defence, and then a try conceded. It takes a lot of petrol out of your tank.
Robbie?
As we're looking at that play there, Tohu Harris, once again, Darius Boyd has isolated him. Too much space between Solomon Ikata, the defender, outside Tohu Harris and Tohu Harris himself. Tohu Harris is a back rower.
They've targeted Tohu Harris.
Definitely, because he's a back rower. Off the mark speed, which you kind of have to have in that defensive position of 2 men in, 3 men in. He's been exposed in that position.
Let's take a look at the other 2 Australian tries, shall we? Merrin and Dugan together, these 2 tries. You have been dominant. Australia have been dominant, Kurt.
This one I think is a really poor read from Taumalolo. I mean, as a defender on your line, you line up with your body in front, and he just made the decision so easy for Cameron Smith. It's a great ball by Cameron Smith, but it's a really poor read or poor concentration.
And it's just Gillette on the outside. He's got too much speed. He's run his outlines that we've seen flick pass, and Dugan. We don't talk about the prowess of Dugan. He's been explosive all year in the NRL with his strength and his speed and his quality. Cronk's not nailed down there. Thurston picks the play up again, and they reline so quickly. Look at Cronk coming back to the other side of the field to make sure that they're going the right way and make the right decisions.
And the difference between New Zealand and Australia, New Zealand probably at this point in time would have pushed that extra pass. They've broken the Aussie line, got into the backfield and pushed extra pass, which the ball goes nowhere. But Australia, patient, efficient, slowed it down, set up for the kick goes through, and Dugan can score.
And we see a mentality that we've experienced this return to this Australian team. The final kick there was a pressure kick, and Dugan converted it. We saw the worst set that the Australians came up with, a long kick from Cronk, and Inglis made it into an unbelievable kick with a goal line dropout. That was their worst set of the half, and they manufactured a kick chase that made it a magnificent set.
I think a big part of that, that being their worst yardage set, but a great kick, just energy-wise on the kick chase, and you can do that when you've got the ball for that long in the first half, and you've had in good field position.
New Zealand have dealt with Cooper Cronk's kicks fairly well. They haven't dropped. I think they maybe dropped one, but the point is not whether they catch them or not, Kurt. It's where it then leaves them.
I think to start with, the kick's got to be on the money, and for Cooper Cronk and Cameron Smith and Jonathan Thurston, 90% of the time they are, but it's also the kick chase as well.
The amount of green jumpers in the frame, I think that's important. They're aggressive. They're not just aggressive in offense when they're attacking with the ball. They're aggressive defensively.
And just for our viewers' sake, where all of these kicks are landing, what's been happening on play 1 and 2 for the Kiwis is they then came up with 3 errors, which meant that Australia get the ball back in this part of the field, and they're absolutely in the pole position to post some more points.
That's just building pressure. Australia, they're happy to play their sets out, kick chase, defend that set, and do the exact same thing for 2 sets, 3 sets, 4 sets.
Building pressure is one thing. What Australia are doing at this point in time is psychological warfare. Every opportunity that they got to take 2 points and can increase the gap between the New Zealand and the Australian team, I can promise you, and Kurt will back me up on this, as a player, you're looking at that scoreboard going up and up, and you know you're playing against the best players in the world, and you know it can become a mountain insurmountable.
One final thing, just on the kicking, because we were talking off air before we came on air about how important it is, and as Brian says, for our viewers out there, but particularly for young kids watching this who play rugby league, to concentrate more on the actual ball and how you kick it than taking your eye off it and looking to where you're going to kick it.
I know Cooper Cronk, being a Melbourne Storm player, he's done a lot of work with the AFL players in Australia, and their technique is the best in the business. So the way he kicks the ball, he keeps his head down over the ball. He's not worried about where it's going to land. He's worried about his contact on the ball, his foot on the ball. And you have a look at his head, the way he looks over the ball. He's not worried about where it's going to land, because he knows which part of the field it's going to.
And that comes from being with Aussie rules, guys, you were saying.
Yeah. I know Melbourne Storm have done a lot of kicking practice with AFL players, and their technique as far as head over the footy and keeping your head down and not worrying about where it's going to land is a huge part of it.
All right, as far as Shaun Johnson is concerned, what does he need to do? What do New Zealand need to do?
Well, ultimately, New Zealand need the ball. It's been nothing but Australia. We've shown, I think, just after the first try, when New Zealand does get the ball, there is enough strike power to give them the time and space on the ball. But the reality is, they're just not getting enough of that. When the New Zealand's had the ball, they've coughed up some very easy and ugly mistakes, giving the ball back to them. But ball retention need to respect the ball.
Just a few examples here. We're watching Johnson. The amount of balls that are behind him, or the lack of execution in their skill, this didn't happen with the green and golds. Their execution and the quality of their skill is first class. He's got so many balls behind him, he's had to check his footwork.
Yeah, and I think that's testament to the Australia, how aggressive the Australian defence are. They're cutting down Shaun Johnson's time. They're cutting down everybody's time on the ball, so you can't make that nice clean pass.
Is he missing Luluai?
Maybe so. Maybe just take that little bit of pressure, take the little bit of kick pressure off. I think New Zealand as a whole is missing Luluai. I think we've exposed, Tohu Harris has been exposed a couple of times. Tommy Luluai is a good reader in that position, and also he works very well with Solomon Ikata. They work together as a defensive unit better together than someone who's strangely never played there before.
I suppose what I mean by that is, as well, is that if you're a coach or if you're an opposition player, you can isolate Johnson a bit more, whereas if you're looking at Australia, if you isolate Cronk, then you've got Thurston, etc, etc.
I just think we need to pay respect to how good the Australians are, and that's not like me. But
are you all right?
Yeah, exactly.
I just wanted to get you a stiff
middle
drink.
spine, we've spoken about it. They have been absolutely clinical. Their passes out in front, the way they've exited their own half, their attention to detail to the small things has been first class. And when you're off your game yourselves, as the Kiwis are, I feel, certainly in that first half, then it's a big hill to climb. I think it's a reflection of how good Australia are as well.
I think what Nobby's also adding to there, New Zealand's off their game because Australia are making them off their game. They're that clinical, they're that sharp.
As far as Australia are concerned going into this second half, there'll be no easing off, will they? They will want to put their foot on the throat of New Zealand even harder.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be frivolous with the ball, but I think what's worked for them is building pressure. New Zealand have made some mistakes on the back of that, and then they've had some attacking footy. For New Zealand, I think they need some field possession and they need some ball. They've had very little ball and very little attacking sets as well.
Here at Anfield, the International Rugby League #1 ranking is on the line. In the tennis tonight, the #1 ranking will be on the line there. Andy Murray against Novak Djokovic. You can see it all on BBC Two from 6 o'clock. The winner will end the year as the world #1. What will they be saying, Robbie Hunter-Paul, to each other before they come back out, New Zealand?
You know, they'll be talking about the small things. They'll be talking about going out there and making sure Australia doesn't get the second phase, because in Australia's yardage, New Zealand got split a couple of times in second phase offloads. But equally as importantly, they'll say respect the ball. Respect the ball. Let's not give up any cheap errors and give Australia a field position.
Can you send a team out with damage limitation for a second half?
I don't think you mention it too much, but I think you can send them out with the fact that we haven't reflected our own performance well here, that we need to do a little bit better for ourselves, irrespective of who's watching the game. They've got to go out there and show that their worth is more than they've shown in the first half.
A lot of talk will be in the camp, let's win this half. Let's focus on winning this half, and anything can happen.
As we wait for both teams to come back out here at Anfield, let's go down to the touchline. Tanya Arnold's got somebody with her.
Yes, I've got a very interested spectator in Sam Tompkins. On your crutches, Sam, because of injury. How is the foot? Are you going to be ready for the start of the season?
I'll probably miss the first month, but yeah, it's all healing well. I had a catch-up with a specialist about a week ago, and all going to plan.
What have you made of that first half?
The Aussies look dangerous when they're down in good ball. I think if the Kiwis could have got that try in the right-hand corner where Sean Johnson flicked it, and the Aussies got the ball, I think that would have made it a bit more of a contest. But I think they'll be even tougher to stop second half.
Does it make you feel a little bit better about what England did against Australia when you watch this?
Yeah, I think England we didn't play brilliant, but everyone's going to be putting a dampener on what we did. But they're both quality teams, Kiwis and the Aussies, and I think the Aussies have proved today exactly how good they are.
Well, you're about to get run over by Kiwis, so we'll let you go. Thanks for your time, Sam.
Thank you. Cheers.
Second half on the way, and if it's anything like the first 40, Australia will be dominant. Let's go back to your commentary team. John Keir, Jonathan Davis and Dave Woods.
Well, sometimes you have to just sit back and admire what's good in sport, don't you? And he's very good in his sport. And he's not bad in his, but he's on a team that is getting beaten heavily here. The Australians showing their pedigree and their class in that opening 40 minutes. Question is, have New Zealand got a will here, a desire to respond in this second half? Or will it simply be Australia rolling it out again, that terrific performance that we saw from them in the first half? They will not be taking anything off the pedal, will they, in this second period? They'll want to score as many points as possible in as classy a fashion as possible.
Well, I'm certain they'll have talked about being ruthless within the changing room and about the 0 against the New Zealand scoring roster, but the first half was a masterclass. They were outstanding with Australia. New Zealand really need to work hard, and as Robbie Hunter-Paul said, their focus needs to be perhaps on attempting to win this second half.
Thurston looking immediately for Frizzell to offer an impact here. Sixth tackle is the next, so Australia will be going for the kick from Cooper Cronk. Up it goes. It's again not a real tester for Rapana, but Australian defenders quickly around him to make sure the yardage is kept to a minimum. Jonathan.
Yeah, they're not going to change anything, the Australians. Such a perfect first half. You know, they'll do exactly the same thing. Just the basics. Do the basics very, very well, and see what comes of it when the opportunities, appear. Then they'll try and take them. I think Robbie was right. Let's not panic the Kiwis. They've got to try and finish their sets and do exactly the same as the Aussies were doing. And now there's a first opportunity in the second half to get a very good field position.
So power taken high.
Yeah, fairly late in the tackle count as well, which will be pleasing for New Zealand, because it will give them a decent field position in which to launch an attack. You see good footwork there, and that's what isolated Klemmer, and the consequence was a high shot.
Well, they've been here before, haven't they, New Zealand? Encouraging position, but unable to deliver, and then crumbling. So can they offer a little more resistance here? Step taken on by Proctor, but not too far. Kenny Dowell at his heels, and left it's injected to Joseph Tapine, the young second rower. Many Australian observers ranking him as one of those promising second rowers in the NRL at the moment, only 22 years of age. It's with Johnson, and now with Kahu, Jordan Kahu, bumping off initially Gillett, but more where that came from. Still a couple of tackles to go. Oh, that's a bit loose, but it's into the hands of Johnson, so it matters not, and now it's on by Tapine again. So final play in the set. What can New Zealand do here? Can they put pressure on the Kangaroos, at least get another set of 6? Well, they'll rush in here, but Boyd again has found safety back in the field of play, and the second attempt in their frustration, New Zealand, after the tackle was completed, put him back. And not only that, they say a word out of place, so what should have been a defensive set with Australia starting on their own line is suddenly a relieving penalty here. So let's hear what they were saying in the dressing. This will be interesting. What was being said in the dressing rooms at half-time? Tanya.
Well, David Kidwell first said, our ball control let us down badly. We need more possession. We need more of the ball. He wants a good kick and chase, and he needs them to tighten up the defence. Fairly basics with them. Mal Meninga, not surprisingly, very happy with the first half. He says this second half is now all about the defence. He wants the first contact, downing them in 1. He told them to forget about the scoreline. He's looking for effort, attitude, and then we complete our sets.
Dugan goes wide to Ferguson, who's got a bit of width and throws it back, and Cronk is there to catch. Fortune favours the Australians, making their own luck here again. Smith. It's now with Klemmer. 3 tackles. Cameron Smith sizing things up. Thurston switches it back for the big fella, Greg Inglis. Always a handful, dealt with.
Holding back foot.
So here's Smith again, the general in the middle, the accountant as he's known in Australia, always calculating. Boyd now across that right-hand side, creating space for himself as it happens. Has he dragged himself over the line? Referee will have a word with the touch judge. Video ref's going to be involved.
Turning. Tackle 5. Have a try.
On the field.
See how that ball gets,
is Darius Boyd
to the line
going to be given this? It's all down to the video referee again, Bernard Sutton.
Darius Boyd there.
Darius Boyd has the ball, tackle 5, try. So he has the ball, it's on his chest at this point. Hasn't promoted the ball, this is all momentum. Still momentum. Okay, so it's momentum that gets the ball, there is no promotion. We need to make sure that it did in fact touch the line. So is there something from side on, please, Ken? Is this the best angle, mate? So it's on the ground at this point. It's now come off the ground. It's on the ground again, Okay, it's now over the line. Is that the best angle, Ken? Okay, the bottom part of the ball is actually shaded at that point, Ben. Is that the best angle? Nothing from side on. Just have a look for some other angles. So we go nice and slow here, please. Nice and slow here. The ball is over the line. Hold it there, please, Ken. Just roll that back a frame for me. Just roll that back. Hold it. Now go forward from there. Hold it there, please, mate. Ben, there's insufficient evidence to overturn the live decision. That will be a try. There's no promotion of the ball, and it definitely gets over the goal line and appears to be on the line.
Well, the classic, was it or was it not? And the on-field decision is what they go with in the end. Darius Boyd is given the try. 28-0, kick to come.
And it's hard to argue against that. And Jonathan Davies called it in the first half that Tohu Harris defended 2 in from the wing. The really hard question is pace, and Darius Boyd does it once more. He goes at him, goes to his outside, and it becomes a foot race. And although he works really hard from the inside, just can't do enough to prevent the ball just brushing the whitewash there. And I'm in agreement with that it was a try, but once again the deficiency was just in the pace there, and Boyd, smart, picked him out, 2 in from the wing, and over he goes.
He's done it again, hasn't he? He just picked out the makeshift standoff, just had a go at him, and he's got on the outside and scored again.
A reflection of Australia's preeminence in the sport of rugby league. It's Darius Boyd's 22nd cap here tonight. He's never been on a losing side. Thurston's put that wide. 28-0 it stands. And it's great that Ken keeps getting a mention, isn't it? We love Bernie Sutton because he keeps mentioning Ken. The nation's asking who's Ken. He's our match director. David Kidwell.
A long, long afternoon for those two gentlemen.
Yeah. So on we go again with Johnson with the restart. Australia bringing it back.
Okay, Kevin,
Just the start to the second half that New Zealand didn't want.
Now, Greg, give him space, hold him. Joseph, no, that's it.
Cameron Smith goes to the left. Late run here by Tyson Frizzell. Gathered some yards in. Smith waits and collects again, and again they plough down this blind side.
Mark it straight. Go.
Smith, Inglis,
Up now.
taken just below the
Good
knees.
tackle.
Has to go back and play it on the point in which he was tackled. Cron gets the kick high. Again, it's a fairly simple catch here for Jordan Kahu, and he's doing a good job at relieving a bit of pressure, but it's still very deep inside their own half that they start, New Zealand.
Yeah, it's really interesting there. When they're bringing the ball from their own end, Australia, they're often peppering the New Zealand right side, which is Sean Johnson. And then when they get in good ball, in attacking opportunity, they shift it inevitably to the New Zealand left-hand side, which is obviously Tohu Harris. But the New Zealanders will be pleasing for that because, again, a penalty and a bit of a reliever with regard to field position.
For an easy yard as well, you know, to see how they pick the short side, the short little passes on the short side, make good yardage. You know, Inglis is always on Cronk's shoulder.
Mahu.
Okay, Josh, off the head.
So, decent position here, New Zealand. How do you fare in the next 5 tackles? Harris takes it in.
Okay, leave it, David. Oh, yeah.
Dummy half is Lewis Brown. Johnson, oh, it's a juggle, but Eastwood keeps a hold, has to turn and barge forward. That's the maximum of expectations in that position there, really. Brown again. The crowd are getting behind New Zealand. They'd love to see them score a try. Step attempted. Tackle completed. 2 more plays to go. Brown picks up. Now it's Johnson. Johnson into the teeth of the gale and can't get out again. So with Johnson, their main playmaker, on the ground, they go on the 6th tackle and simply try and run it and offload, and the risk does not provide reward.
And that's the difference. Sean Johnson is on the ground. No one's there. Takes responsibility to, you know, to take the kick, and maybe what they wanted there was a repeat set. Didn't happen.
And again, very alert, and once again the defence of Australia on their own line, not found wanting in any shade or form.
Well, a couple of years ago in Wellington, we mentioned this earlier, New Zealand winners of the 4 Nations, and by my reckoning there are 11 players in this 17 today who were involved that day. So they've clearly got the capabilities in their side. I think it is more an underlining this tournament of how Mal Meninga has rebuilt this Australian side and put them right back on that pinnacle again. They were never far away.
He's an outstanding red team coach, isn't he? She's proved that with Queensland over the years, and obviously he's now starting to prove that once again with the green and gold. And you know, with Smith, Cronk and Thirsk coming towards the end of their career, they're going to take some beat in the World Cup next year. They really are.
Yeah, they've had a great spine for a long, long time now. You've got to remember, you know, you've got Billy
Another
Slick.
risk. Dugan has it back. Australia have it back. Easy yards given to them. Thurston hurling it left. Inglis away from the advancing Rapana, still carrying it strongly. Rapana's been left on the ground and injured. Australia allowed to carry on. Thurston, little umbrella of defenders around him, so he can't really get a pass away. Smith, driven by Klemmer, edging closer and closer, and Smith has a look around and knows there are options right and left. It's Cronk on the right, the short ball there. New Zealand matching them just for the moment, but Australia with plenty of promise. The Kiwis defending with only 12 men on their own line at the moment because Rapana's still injured. The kick is probably too high. Oh, and Kenny Dowell did not want to take the risk there when it looked as though that was going out on the full.
I think he had to play it. You know, he had no idea who was around him. I don't think there was a call.
My question, Jonathan, should he have caught it? He catches it, lands in goal head. It's a 20-metre tap.
I think he should have caught it.
It's hard enough defending Australia with the best, but to give him a free set, if he catches the ball there, lands in the in goal, it's a tap 20. What he's done is palmed the ball out, and it's a drop kick out to Australia. What he needed to do there was back his own ability, his own skill to catch the ball, land in the in goal area, and tap on the 20. As it is, repeat, said Australia.
Well, we've got to hold up here because Rapana's still getting treatment. He was the man who was hurt when he tried to tackle Greg Inglis.
Yeah, his head's in the wrong side then. Just caught the knee of Inglis. Completely accidental, but there's a defensive technique there of Rapana.
Well, he's not alone in that, Jordan Rapana, in getting badly hurt in trying to tackle Greg Inglis. The other Australian centre, Josh Dugan, actually had his jaw broken by Greg Inglis in a State of Origin game. I think it was the third State of Origin game this year.
Well, I must admit, I've seen smaller centres than him.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I've seen bigger ones as well.
Well, he's not looking great, is he? That's a headache.
Leaving the field, number 5, Jordan Rapana. On in his place, number 9, Isaac Luke.
So Isaac Luke comes back on the field. A little bit of reshuffling with Lewis Brown still out there as well. So Australia rolling forward again.
Dominic! Stand now! Hold it straight, Jesse. Go,
Boyd. I think we've mentioned this before as well, but he was an 11.5-pound baby.
Make it.
Shannon Boyd. He's not lost any size down the years. Inglis held up.
Release.
10 away from the Kiwi line.
Play the ball.
Morgan, a bit of a glare, an after's glare from Inglis. As Australia through Smith and now Cronk and back to Boyd. It's 3 against 2. It's a pass over the top this time from Boyd that didn't hit the mark, but somehow Ferguson keeps it alive superbly well. Look at the handling here from Australia. Back with Thurston, a rush from Proctor, the kick for the in goal, the chase is on. Kenny Dowell will get there, but only in terms of international rescue.
Well, it's the first
Another
time,
drop out underneath the sticks.
It's the first time they panned it because that was on the third tackle.
Yeah, it was a tremendous passage of play, wasn't it? And well done, Sean Kenny Dowell that time. He had no option but to get rid of the ball, get it over the dead ball line. You see there's lots of pressure that time. Forces the spill, but then out it goes, prevents the try. It's a great passage of play up to that, just playing what they saw. They've played some great structure, but they've also played with some great instinct of the Australian side.
Official crowd here today, by the way, just over 40,000.
Well, that's a great start, wasn't it? 24 out of 27 sets completed by Australia. That's outstanding rugby league.
And 12 repeat sets as well.
Hold!
It's about growing pressure, isn't it?
Right there.
It's about the efficiency, the game management, and then they can pounce from there. On this left-hand side, Michael Morgan.
Surrender!
He's a coming talent, isn't he? Malmeninger gave him his State of Origin debut last year. Gave him his Australia debut as well.
Forward, Jesse up! Hold in here, hold.
Boyd
Wait.
finding position, 15 away. It's with Thurston with that left foot step. Tackle made, but Smith receives, and now it's Shannon Boyd who's twisting away, almost bulldozing his way over.
Back foot here, back foot. Hold!
Final play in the set. Smith, Thurston, backdoor, Cronk quickly on, taken here by Holmes. Oh, has he got there? I don't think he has. Well, no try on the field. They're going to have a look just in case.
Great effort, though.
No try.
Well, we've seen him perform some miracles, haven't we, in scoring? Has he done something similar, or is this no try? Let's hear from Bernard Sutton again.
So we're just going to go frame by frame here if we can. So we can see the ball's in the left hand of Valentine Holmes. The right hand comes down. Right hand actually touches the touch line there. Can we just get something from the other angle to make sure that that is Valentine Holmes' right hand? Okay, nice and slow here, nice and slow. That's Valentine Holmes' hand underneath the ball, just lower than the ball. Okay, we might go back to the side-on shot, so it's definitely Valentine Holmes' hand. So we're going to go frame by frame here, and we're going to get you to pause this when it first touches, his hand touches the line. Now, okay, have a decision, that'll be no try, Ben. The hand of Valentine Holmes goes into touch.
Well, he didn't miss by much, did he? Didn't miss by much, but it is no try.
Yeah, there wasn't much in it, and the crucial play there was just watch them reorganising themselves, and you had Cronk and Thurston just, filing into position, just creating opportunity for the, for the left wing.
Well, let's give a pat on the back as well to Jordan Cahill and Sean Kenny-Dowell there, who showed great urgency and pride to get across there to prevent that try. Because the second half it's only 4-0. But you sense there's more scores to come because they're playing so well in Australia.
Yeah, I think they've definitely missed Lulai, so much defensively and offensively.
Half a chance here. Maho. Kata getting involved as well. Another of those monstrous runners who take some stopping at times. Isaac Luke looking to exert his influence from dummy half again and goes to Bromwich. So Luke, here's to Pau. 5 gone, the next is the 6th, so Johnson kicks back towards that left-hand side. It's Ferguson who's up there and catches superbly well.
Fantastic
Oh, it's a
catch.
penalty for New Zealand there.
That was a good kick though as well, wasn't it? And I think they're getting some blocking, haven't they, in the back play?
Yeah, good call, Dugan.
It was, yeah, Dugan went across the wingman there, was going to challenge, went across his line of run, so the correct decision.
So New Zealand with an opportunity, Tomalolo. First point of call. Steamroller stopped. Luke, oh, that's an awful pass, but because of interference at the play the ball. So another penalty here for New Zealand. Gets another go. 6 tackles to have a real go, Jesse Bromwich. Now here's a test of Australia's defensive pedigree, because a repeat set, a rare repeat for New Zealand on that Australian line. Now it's with Johnson. Johnson gets it away. Proctor with a flick pass. Great handling. Great handling. Great score from Jordan Cahill. And the biggest roar of the afternoon from 40,000 plus inside Anfield. It barely qualifies as anything to cheer about, but it was a very good finish.
Yeah, he deserves it as well, Jordan Cahill. I think he's had a good game. and this was some good shape and structure. There's the penalty there, not square at the marker and played at the dummy half. They did a pretty good job though. Those are slip in the background, a great job there, hitting the line, and the other attackers pushing through. It was Cahill who came up with the ball and crosses wide out. Good try.
You had Greg English just sprinting up and he slipped over, which created a little bit of an opportunity on the right-hand side, but the offload of Proctor is a brilliant finish. And that's just, you know, through repeat sets and pressure, they've executed it well.
Well, there's a great roar to greet the Kiwis as they go back inside their half. A little bit of encouragement supplied for them. Kahu has the kicking responsibilities as well. Oh, it's hit the post again. 28-4 it remains.
There you go, Greg English rushes out to the line. He goes early, slips. That's the gap that Proctor hits. Good support play.
It's a good line though, wasn't it, Proctor? Because he fixed the defender, then skipped to the outside shoulder. Real good line he hit there, and good support play from Kahu.
Well, he's a good year, hasn't he, Jordan Kahu? Made his debut against England in that Test series last year, of course. It's the first time we got a chance to view him over here, but certainly club level with Brisbane. Wayne Bennett's Brisbane. I think it was 15 tries in 20 appearances this last year.
Hold! Aaron now, bring it back. Hold, milking, go.
Isaac Luke here to operate and out.
Aaron now, give him space. Matt Scott, make
Harris to his feet.
Straight there.
Kata trying to shuffle forward again. Australia
Release, Matt. Marcus
keen not to give too many cheap yards away here.
Go through.
Tapau offering the impact. Great carry, good offload. Spun away. Johnson now creating a bit of an overlap. Could they? Not when Proctor is nailed by Thurston.
Good defence by Thurston there.
Tomalolo trying to build up his own momentum here. 5 tackles gone again though. So Isaac Luke to Johnson. Johnson steepling it high. They're trying to isolate Ferguson. The chase is on. Ferguson again, a good taker of the ball.
I think it'd be a lot. Yeah, I think it'd be a lot better if they went, to the other wing. I think Valentine Holmes, because Ferguson is a very, very tall winger and extremely good in the air. So if you don't put any pressure on him, he's going to take this all day.
But you would be very happy from a New Zealand point of view. There's 2 tackles already gone.
Yeah.
3rd tackle and they're within the 10, and that's similar to what Australia were doing the first half. Putting the ball high, putting it just short of the goal line, and then challenging the opposition to clear their goal line.
So we're seeing a response here from New Zealand. English though, with a great break, and then the pass to Valentine Holmes. Holmes with a step inside Kahu, gets the pass away to Darius Boyd. Boyd throws behind Cooper Cronk, who still chases it, knows he's at Anfield, tries a bit of soccer skills. He's not very good at that, and Kata drops on it. But it was a voluntary tackle, I think he's given here. Has he? He's certainly given the penalty for Australia, and it's all getting a little red-blooded now in the middle.
Yeah, I think he's, as Josh Dugan's gone down to tackle him, I think he's put his feet up. It'd be very difficult to see it from the stand if it was intentional, but he just took Josh Dugan just run into the feet. I think it was Kata.
Bernie, if you get a look at this.
Just one.
Oh, yes.
There you go.
You can't do that.
Yep.
No.
Aaron, please.
And Dugan not enamoured by that action.
There's a slam dunk there.
Okay, we got the penalty.
Just
evil in those eyes, weren't there?
Okay, so you got the penalty. I don't want anything after it, okay? Just be responsible with that. Solomon. Okay. The penalty's against you for putting the legs out, making contact. But then the throwing afterwards, that's what can escalate the situation. We don't want that, okay? So the penalty will go against your team. Just wait there, mate.
No complaints?
No complaints.
None.
As seen by everybody in the stadium.
Okay, watch it here. Okay.
I think the only complaint the Australians had, they didn't finish the movement off.
Yeah, well, that was sloppy, wasn't it? You just feel their high standards have just dipped a little, as they're obviously very comfortable and they've got the game won.
This is Woods, Aaron Woods.
Surrender!
10 metres away. Smith, Cronk.
That's 3.
Good play then, Harris.
Back foot here, back foot. Go 3.
Smith again and Woods.
4 now, Marty up.
Couple of plays still to go. Australia interestingly poised here. Into the line comes Morgan. Inglis with a big carry.
Well, they're targeting English now on Johnson. Big man on small man. Johnson did well.
Here we go. Oh, Thurston's kick goes very sideways. Dugan knocks it backwards. And it's picked up by Gillett, who's keeping it alive. Here's Cronk. And bumped to the ground.
Big hit, Tomalolo.
Well, it's getting feisty again.
Got a change over. Right there. Cooper, lead the ball, please. Mark it there, Cameron.
Jason Tomalolo and Cooper Cronk were joint Dally M winners, weren't they, in Australia this year? Joint Players of the Year.
Go.
And there was a little fight going on here as to who should keep the trophy.
Ooh. Up now, Aaron. Hold it for 1. Marcus. Hold in the middle, Matt. Go, 1.
Harris.
Cooper off the ball. Bring it back, Aaron.
Very much in that second row's position now.
Go, 2.
Kenny Dow.
Aaron now. Bring it up, Sean. Go, 3. Keep going the marker there.
Tapau. Up and just beyond the halfway line.
Leave it. Bring it back.
Now it's with Isaac Luke. It's grabbed by Matt Scott, who was not square at the marker.
Quick play of the ball was very good there. He knew what he was doing. Luke Isaac. As soon as Scott grabbed him, penalty.
So Johnson finds a position. New Zealand just getting a little flutter of enthusiasm here.
Okay, bring it up,
Flutter of, there might be some possibilities to be earned from this game before it's finished, as Jesse Bromwich just fires it forward again. Big chugging effort.
Go, 2.
Luke. Blair. Toppled.
Good tackle. Good contact there, wasn't it, from Matthew Scott? Yes.
Yeah. They got in there. Shoulders made to measure. Now it comes to Kenny Dow. Here's Johnson. Out came Gillett like a heat-seeking missile to pull his man down. Harris on that left-hand side goes for the bludgeoning effort. So the last play, Johnson hits an advancing Australian. Referee says what here?
He's given a knock on.
So there's more.
Yeah, more pressure.
More for New Zealand to take on board here.
Yeah, good pressure. Good pressure here.
See the kick there. It's accidental offside, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely played that. And then it touched Scott.
When you're bound, I'll call time off. You need one more person.
Morgan.
Official crowd 40,042, by the way.
Okay, time.
Good atmosphere though, wasn't it?
Yeah. Certainly in the second half, when New Zealand have found a bit of energy.
Nice and tight, Darius. Okay. Cooper. Out.
Harris with a feed. It's Johnson again now, who brings it to this right-hand side. On comes Kevin Proctor, who's lost the ball, but illegally stolen.
Yeah, I think it was Thurston, wasn't it?
In front of you, just wait.
2 men in the tackle and Thurston reefed the ball out, so it's another set for New Zealand in a very good attacking position.
Blair inside for Tomalolo. Big machine coming forward again. 5 away. New Zealand in decent position. It's slow. Now it's played. Isaac Luke goes left and then decides there's not happening there, so we'll go right, and Blair tries to bury himself underneath Australian defenders. Isaac Luke picks up and dances and darts and dashes, but
3 now, Aaron.
he's disappointed.
Back foot, play the ball.
It's Blair, the dummy half this time. Spinning it back. Caught in the air by Brown, playing in the centres now. In the absence of Rapana. With Kenny Dowell on the right wing, another penalty for New Zealand.
Yeah, Frizzell, I think, flopped on.
And there might be an issue there.
Yes.
Tyson, go and get treated, please. In the last 10, mate. No, I'm talking towards the camera. Yeah. 4 quick ones in the last 10 minutes. Okay, we've got to clean that up.
I appreciate that, mate. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I know.
It's really hard that when we're tangled up.
Yeah.
Like, we got penalised for a man being underneath.
Okay. Okay, you got my message?
Yeah,
You've got to
no,
clean
I
up. Thanks, Cameron.
It's just hard when we're tangled, mate.
All right.
Never short of a word, is he?
Who's the referee there? Which one's the ref?
Just right there, Lewis.
So Rawley plays for club, for state and for country, Cameron Smith. Kevin Proctor goes close for New Zealand. Excellent opportunity at the moment for the Kiwis to re-establish a little bit of pride here. Spun across the line, taken on by Bromwich. He's gathered in, but he manages to squeeze his way out of the clutches of Morgan, but more come in green and gold and put him down on his back. But New Zealand with Tomalolo driving it in again. 5 away. Australia's defence is being tested to the limit here as Bromwich held up again just short. They don't want to give anything away this side in green and gold. The Kiwis desperate to get over there. Johnson again, skipping in, puts it back to Kahu. Quick hands, helped on its way by Lewis Brown, but on its way into touch, not into the hands of his teammate Kenny Dow.
Well, decision making has been excellent for Australia with ball in hand, but that was an instance when decision making was excellent when New Zealand had ball in hand. He noticed Greg Inglis that they'd got 3 on 2. He put the skill under pressure. His wingman followed him as well, putting the skill under pressure again. And obviously the ball ended up over the sidelines. That was a great defensive effort from both wingman Valentine Holmes and centre Greg Inglis.
Wait there, wait there. Okay, that's fine. Okay, let's go. Here we go, Cameron. Hold it tight there. Okay.
Thurston to feed the scrum here.
Out.
Australia have been reduced to just the 1 try in this second half. Darius Boyd just after the break, but since then Kiwis are playing with plenty of pride and passion. But they've given away another penalty here, which means that this set will occupy a great deal of their own territory. The 11 penalties conceded by Australia, a lot of those in the last 10 minutes or so.
Well, I think there was 4 on the bounce as referee Ben Cummins pointed out to Cameron Smith.
Yeah, they are clinical as well. You know, when they're under pressure in their own 20-metre, they will give a penalty away. So it's up to the referee then to referee it and, you know, use the cards.
They'll give the penalty away because they trust their defensive capabilities.
Here we go. Cooper Cronk running wide, has support out there from the winger Ferguson, but look how many Kiwis are back, but the offload is good. Dugan keeps it in play.
Well, good on them. Well done, the Kiwis there. Great tracking back, great scramble, and it shows the pride in the shirt there.
Cameron Smith to Scott, who just slides in there using his bulk, making his presence felt. Australia with Smith again. Now it's with Merrin. Merrin flicks away. Smith underneath the arms of Proctor, and Thurston is going to be wrapped up by plenty of enthusiastic defenders again. Here's Cordner. Smith can't see the pass he wanted, so takes the tackle. And this is the last. Scott to Cronk. It's a chip towards that right-hand side. Ferguson is up there, bats it back. It's Dugan who flicks it back inside. It should be Blair's, and is. New Zealand come away with it. Harris now, he's lost the ball.
Lost it backwards.
Went backwards. Yep. And Bromwich. Surge and an urge.
Cooper, waiting for 2. Wait there, wait. Go.
Luke. Kenny Dow. He's done well there as Kenny Dow. There's real intent for you.
It's a bit yardage, Kenny Dow.
Isaac Luke again, Tomalolo to his left, but he's going further left. He's taking them on himself, runs, bumpers up against Cooper Cronk.
Wait here, wait.
Well, I'm certain David Kidwell, you know, will be really pleased with the second half response from his team.
Tomalolo, wonderful run by him. Jason Tomalolo, a mixture of stepping and size and power. And he gets the penalty.
On the 5th tackle as well.
Again, very, very clinical. I think, you know, that's should be a yellow card, Should be a yellow card. Cronk should be now in the bin. Okay. Clinical, he's just won Cameron Smith for 4 penalties.
So Adam Blair sets the position.
Oh dear.
Isaac Luke, who seems to be troubled, hobbling a little. Johnson Kenny Dowell inside Inglis, away from Thurston. Meets his match, does he? In Boyd Cordner, kept alive, and it's still a dancing step in Kahu! Jordan Kahu might just have claimed his second of the game, and the Kiwis' second of the game, but again, we need the analysis to be done. So again, we go to video referee Bernard Sutton.
Now just hold up this continuous if I can, please, Ken. Just keep this moving, keep this moving. So see, there's no defender in contact with Jordan Kahu at this point, so he's entitled to promote the ball. The ball's now off the ground before anyone else joins the tackle. So there's no double movement involved. Keep this moving, still has possession, still has possession, still has possession. And that appears like it's keep it moving, please, Ken. Keep it moving, mate. Don't freeze it, don't freeze it. Okay, is there another angle on that, please, mate? No, I just need this continuous, please, continuous. Okay, can we go back to the front on angle? Is this your best shot, mate? Okay, just keep this going, keep this going. Yeah, keep it going, not frame by frame, move it forward. And pause it now. Okay, that'll be a try, Ben. It's going to the board.
So the Kiwis, through Kahu, find themselves with just another little foothold, but they are a long, long way down Mount Everest yet. Kahu with a kick to come, but to put it into context, they have to score 3 more and convert all 3 if Kahu converts this to put Australia under pressure. Here he comes, started it right, stayed right, very straight, 28 points to 10. But we are seeing some real spirit and fight from the Kiwis in the second half.
Very good finish as well. And again, good space. It's the offload. There's a lovely offload. And Thurston spins out of the tackle. Good finish.
28-8 Australia lead.
Well, Justin Morgan and David Kidd, well, I'm certain they'll feel pleased with the response of their team in this second half. It's 8-4 if you look from half-time, and they've certainly played a lot better, been assisted by a fair few penalties that Australia have conceded. I believe the penalty count's 12-7 now to New Zealand, but they have taken advantage of it, and defensively as well, Dave, they've really worked hard to keep this Australian team out, so a great response from the half-time debrief.
Here's Blair, Harris. Well, they're playing with some vibrancy, aren't they? Now, New Zealand. Those offloads, and as was mentioned by Kirk Gidley in the half-time chat, you know, that turning point where New Zealand were on top and very nearly got across the whitewash, and instead they spilt the ball went the other end, and Australia scored the try. And that was a massive turning point, wasn't it? Had that not happened, had New Zealand scored ifs and buts and all that, but going to have a very different contest here.
Yeah, mistake, because they're trying to play a looser game now with offloads. The mistakes are going to happen. That's where Australia try and capitalise on it.
Thurston into the line, comes Cordner. Inglis with his arms outstretched wants this ball played quickly. Inside it goes to Thurston again now. Cameron Smith offering it. Merrin, Trent Merrin. He's a worker, isn't he? A labourer.
I've been really impressed with him in this tournament. Really have.
Cronk again.
Great defence.
Rushed up quickly. Katter, I think that was, who got in the face of Darius Boyd.
Last tackle. Go.
So Cooper Cronk on the final play will chip it high. Kenny Dowell with a running start, but it's Inglis whose big arms get up there. Scott there who knocks on. And New Zealand survive with head and feet at the scrum.
Well, that left edge defence of New Zealand been a lot better this second half. Whether they changed at half time, but they've really rushed. They've tried to make a decision on the back man and rush them. There we see the knock on. Should it have been a knock on? I don't know if it came off the leg, but never mind. Let's get on with it.
Johnson. And we can see there's an intent there from New Zealand, wasn't there, to play some football inside their own 10 metres line. Isaac Luke rolls in again. Harris down that left-hand side. Katter just to his left, but he's not interested in the support player. Isn't Tohu Harris. He just wants to make some damage on that Australian line. Now it comes with Jesse Bromwich. Bromwich with a lovely little Subtle step to get past Woods, but caught and put down on the halfway line.
I think he's had a good game today, Bromwich.
Johnson. Proctor. Showing the dummy. He's on his way to Gold Coast next season. Here's Kevin Proctor, having spent quite a bit of time at Melbourne Storm. Kick is high. Ferguson has to advance a yard or two and leaps. Well, it's going to be a penalty.
Yeah,
inevitably.
in the air.
Inevitably.
That just wasn't smart, that.
No.
It was a good kick, but he needed just to let him land before he went in with the shoulder there.
That's very polite of you there, John, not very smart. Very stupid play, actually, I thought.
You see there, just taking him in the air. Just no need for him. Let him land and then jam him with the shoulder.
I think he copped one as well on the chin, didn't he?
He's okay. Blake Ferguson. We saw Joseph Tapping getting his tummy tickled at half-time. Did you see that? The shots inside the dressing room. What was that all about? So
I didn't really notice it, Dave, to be honest. Didn't really notice it, Dave.
I couldn't take my eyes off it. If you'd have seen it, you wouldn't have been able to take your eyes off it either.
Right here, Jason. Hold it out, add another step. Hold
It's
it
like a baby having indigestion or something.
Yeah, all right.
Anyway, Australia back towards the halfway line, wanting to finish with a flourish here. 7 minutes of the game to go, 7 minutes of the season remaining. It's been a memorable season, so many reasons. Both sides of the world. Cronulla with a great story, winning the NRL Grand Final. Wigan through adversity, winning the Grand Final here. That wonderful Challenge Cup story that Hull FC have penned this season as well. The £1 million game. So many reasons to remember this season. But we are belatedly going to be taking our hats off to this Australian side, who bring the curtain down in style.
Last tackle, Aaron, bring it
Didn't
up.
finish it.
Straight there, Jesse, back foot loose. Hold.
Last play, where does it go? Smith to Thurston. Here comes the run of Cordner, who's bullying his way over the line. Boyd Cordner might just have written the last word on this 2016 season. Never any doubts really from kickoff, but Australia are going to be crowned Four Nations winners 2016.
It's a brilliant angle again from the second rower, but just watch, who it comes off. When it hits centre field, they have options either side, with either Cronk on the right-hand side and Thurston on the left-hand side. And then it all depends where Dennis Boyd sees the weakness. He comes in to create, the overlap. But this is the take and the penalty, which gave him a penalty to get good field position. This is the finish. Yes, so it's Cronk on the right, Thurston. What a ball, with Inglis on the outside. It's a great finish.
Well, it was as if Australia were annoyed that they weren't winning the second half, wasn't it? And all of a sudden they decided to say, hey, we'll level it and hope that Thurston could claim the second half for them. But that was a really well executed play there.
Just be ready for that short kick off, boys.
Well, it flies alone at Anfield, the Australian flag. And they have come through a few storms, not many. Well, they've painted their own golden skies, haven't they? Stop now. Thurston with the kick. 32 points to 8 as it stands. Jonathan Thurston looking to add another 2 points to his Test match tally, and he does. 34 points to 8. Australia lead. Once again, the preeminent international rugby league nation.
Look how well Thurston takes the ball right to the line. And it's a real aggressive line on the inside shoulder. And over he goes, crashes over the whitewash. Real good try.
Time back on.
I'm sure Mal Meninga will feel that job done, and job done with some style, especially that first half.
4.5 minutes to go. There might be more fireworks to come yet. Australia won't be content to finish there. They'd love to get it to the 40-point mark. It's getting a bit fiery backstage again there with the Kiwis and Aussies behind the play. Smith.
Yeah, Bromwich and Scott did a...
But perhaps that fire should have been after minute 5, not 75.
Woods.
space. Right here.
Smith, Cronk, looking for more holes in the Kiwi resolve here in the final few moments. Frizzell to his feet, and here's Cronk with a kick to touch. It's just a bit of game management. We'll put the Kiwis under pressure here.
Well, they're running the clock down now, aren't they?
Official attendance in the Ladbrokes Four Nations final is 40,042.
And Mal Meninga, you know, not long in the job now, is he? Only took over as head coach of Australia this year, but unbeaten, winning coach every time they've taken to the field, and impressively winners every time they've taken to the field.
Yeah, I mean, Australia have been the best team in this Four Nations by some distance, in all honesty. And the challenge to both the Kiwis and the English team is to improve considerably in the next 12 months to challenge them next year with the World Cup down in Australia, New Zealand and Papua New Guinea.
And we can't forget to mention Scotland as well, the role they have played in this Four Nations, because they, of course, to remind you, became the first outside the top three to take a point off one of the top three with that glorious performance up at Workington last week against this New Zealand side. Kenny Dowell has risked it, chanced his arm, it's come off. So New Zealand are in an attacking position here. Johnson, Tomalolo, Woods grasping at him, but Tomalolo carries on running, almost ignores him. Last play in this set. Isaac Luke comes out, goes right. Ooh, Kenny Dowell just about keeps a hold of it and then passes it behind Lewis Brown. Doesn't that sum up an afternoon for those in black shirts?
I think that's one thing they have to work on, is I think the passing hasn't been executed well enough, I think, because they've checked the run of the guy receiving the pass with a lot of shoulder passes.
Okay, boys, by the ball.
Yeah, this was good offload though earlier in the passage. Risk and reward, and he took the risk and the team got the reward, although unfortunately later in the tackle count over the sideline it went.
Make it, Adam. Right here.
So less than 2 minutes to go. David Kidwell, again another one who's new to the job. He wasn't expecting it, of course. Stephen Kearney pulling out of the head coach's position for New Zealand midway through this year. Oh, and that's a good pass. That's the best pass that Eastwood's had all afternoon, and it comes from Trent Merrin. Kenny Dowell. A minute and 10 seconds to go.
It's getting a bit sloppy, isn't it? I think both teams are looking for the minute 80 on the game clock, and they'll be happy to put their feet up after a very long season.
Luke, Blair, Luke in a dummy half. Final time New Zealand will have the ball in their hands in this game. Johnson, a big dummy from him, and then he skips back the other way. This is Blair, whose pass was not forward. The referee says play on, but Kevin Proctor's dragged down. So the sixth tackle coming up. Johnson is going to run it. Johnson skipping, drops it back. Great stuff from Kahu between the legs. Kenny Dowell back on the inside. Olays from the crowd. Eastwood drops it back to Tomalolo. Now it's with Isaac Luke. Luke's pass caught by Kata. He drills it out. It's basketball they're playing at the moment, not rugby league. Kata off the ground. Still another set of six here for New Zealand. They're entertaining to the last. Isaac Luke takes it in. That is the last though. And for all that flair and enterprise in the last few seconds, it comes to naught in the final reckoning. It is Australia who are elevated back to top spot in World Rugby League. It's official now. We knew it before anyway, but they are world champions, world number one, and the Four Nations winners.
Yeah, just too good. You know, they've been so efficient with great leadership and great game management. Thoroughly deserved number one in the world, number one in this competition, and they'll take some beating in next year's World Cup.
They really will, and that first half was an outstanding example of how to play rugby league football. The second half died a bit of a death, but that was a really outstanding first half when Australia posted 24 points to 0 and deserved Four Nations champions and deserved #1 in the world.
34 points to 8. Darius Boyd keeping up his impressive record, 22 caps, never on a losing side. Cameron Smith, is this the last we see of him on English soil in an Aussie shirt? He'll go around next year. Hopefully, as long as he keeps his health, he'll go around in the World Cup next year, but we might be seeing the last of him on English soil. And what a great exponent of the game he remains. One of the best number 9s there have been. So let's hear, I think, from the man of the match, Darius Boyd, who's with Tanya Arnold.
Darius, congratulations, man of the match, but how special to win the Four Nations?
Yeah, definitely. We set out at the start of the tour that we really wanted to play well and come over here and get the #1 world ranking back, and pleasure to play in front of this great crowd here in Liverpool and get the win tonight.
Mal Meninga's been playing down that #1 spot, but clearly you guys wanted it back big time.
Oh, definitely. You want to be the best, and we really rate our side, and we've trained hard all year. We've had a great bunch of blokes, the whole squad included, and it's just good to get the win tonight.
I mean, how much of a pleasure is it to play as a group, you lot? I mean, you look like such a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, it's been a really tight-knit group. I think we've had a lot of fun together, but we've really trained hard at the same time, and Mal and the coaching staff have really made the whole tour enjoyable, and it's just good to get the result in the end.
What has Mal brought to this, do you feel?
Oh, I just brought a lot of pride back to the jersey. I think for a while there, we had a few losses with the Australian team, and it wasn't what we our standards, I guess, and it's just a pleasure to win all our games this year and go home with the trophy.
Many congratulations. Let's bring in your captain, Cameron Smith. Cameron, you're back to #1 in the world. Sound good?
Oh yeah, that's fantastic. That was definitely a goal of ours at the start of the year, but we knew it was going to take a lot of hard work. But the boys really have. We've transformed a few things this year throughout the team and the way we go about our football, and I think it's just been a nice change with Mal bringing in some different things around the team and some new players on board. So I think we're undefeated throughout this whole season, which is great.
When you say you've transformed things, I mean, you've always looked pretty good. What is it you've transformed?
Oh, I think just a bit of the outlook on where we want the Kangaroos to be. The jersey and what it means to the players playing in it, and who we're actually representing. So, the older boys, we've always had a lot of pride in the jersey, and it's great to see all the young boys, really cherishing the international game and, seeing the Kangaroos jersey as the pinnacle of rugby league.
And how much do you feel you are building and looking towards that World Cup and retaining that?
Look, it's obviously nice to finish Four Nations champions. We haven't had that for a few years now, but look, I think we've done a lot of hard work this year. We've put this team in a pretty good position moving into the World Cup, but our first goal was to come here, make the final and win it, and we've done that so far. So just need to keep building now. Hopefully all the guys that are involved in this tour are all fit and playing well next year and all available for the World Cup.
Enjoy lifting that trophy. Well, let's bring in another of your long-time teammates, Jonathan Thurston. Jonathan, you've said before that you think this is probably your last game in this country. What a way to go out for you.
Yeah, it's quite special to be able to take the Four Nations trophy back home and to play it on such a ground that has so much history. So it's been a good campaign by the boys, and we said from the start we wanted to create really good memories, and that's what we've done.
How much is it a consciousness for you, for Cameron Smith, that your international career is not going to go on forever now, and you want to go out with these special memories?
Yeah, that's what it's all about. It's creating those memories and making sure they're good memories. So, Mal's come in and produced a really good squad. There's a lot of experience, but also, he's blooded a few players as well. So it's good to see those younger boys coming through and really cherishing the jersey and, really standing up for the international game.
Thanks for your time, Jonathan. Let's just bring in Adam Black. A tough game for you guys, but how pleased with the second half response?
It was one of those nights. We worked really hard this whole tour. We worked hard this week. Very disappointed in our efforts in the first half. Just collectively as a group, we let ourselves down. Our ball handling was terrible. But then we come out in the second half and try to play some footy, what we believe is the Kiwi style, and we come up with a couple of good tries, Jordan Coe, but class alpha tonight. They cleaned us up.
Thanks for your time, Adam.
No worries, thank you.
Well, Kurt Gidley, Australia are back at number 1. They've won the Four Nations and they were mightily impressive over the last 4 weeks.
I think they certainly deserve to be winners of this tournament. Today it was just so clinical. They played out the early sets, completed really well, built pressure. When they had a set play, they got the right people, and I think they deserve the win today and the tournament.
Robbie, from a Kiwi perspective, what, if any, positives can you take from it?
Well, as Adam Blair said then, the second half was positive in a respect. They have trained well, they've enjoyed the tour, they just haven't been able to glue it consistently over a full 80 minutes in any of the games really, so they'll go back to the drawing board, but the big one is the World Cup in 2017.
I thought Australia were magnificent right throughout the trip. Mal Meninga came here with a view to re-establishing Australia as the number 1, and that clinical type of approach, we've hinted at it from Cameron Smith and from Jonathan Thurston. There's a lack of pride in the kangaroo jumper, and I think he's re-established that and made sure that he should be the number 1 aim of any Australian rugby league player.
Well, we are ready for the presentations of the 2016 Four Nations, so let's rejoin our commentator Dave Woods.
All the officials are out there. Kiwis on the floor at the moment, but we're going to see, I think it's the man of the series first in Cooper Cronk, the Australia number 7, one club man throughout his career at Melbourne. He's been there since 2004. His debut against New Zealand, the centenary test back in 2007, but what an established figure he has become for Australia in the 9 years since. And this is always a moment when the officials get their medals. It's good that the referees collect their mementos too. They serve a big purpose, of course, don't they? They get some stick at times, but of course we wouldn't have a game were it not for they. There's Bernard Sutton at the back, by the way. We might not get to see Ken today, but we see Bernie. Greg Inglis maybe considers a missed opportunity today. If he'd scored against New Zealand, he would have been Australia's record try scorer against New Zealand. Currently has 15 against the Kiwis, as did Darren Lockyer. So the Kiwis coming out here, Jesse Bromwich, or Jesse Bromwich as he pronounces his own name, from the Melbourne Storm. Another one club man. We got first sight of him over here when he made his debut against Leeds in the World Club Challenge in 2010. Kevin Proctor just behind him, Johnson, Kata, Greg Eastwood, familiar face to Leeds supporters, of course. His spell 6 or 7 years ago with that club. Lewis Brown coming through as well, Marty Tapau from Manly, and through they go. So not the most memorable of Four Nations tournaments for these particular Kiwis. The 117 points to 16 win against England, but then the horrible memory from their point of view of an 18-all draw with Scotland at Workington. Defeat twice to Australia. Isaac Luke, the big fella, Jason Tomalolo, he's had a great season domestically, having got that joint Dally M winner alongside Cooper Cronk. Losers' medals collected. It's time the winners took centre stage. So Jonathan Thurston, bereft of cap, will come on here. As we heard, one of a clutch who might not be coming back to these shores again to play international rugby league. Cronk getting his